welcome to another episode of Naijatoamerica. You know, it's your girls, it's Yonde, it's one of y'all. Yeah. In our last video with just us, we talked about, getting ready for the summer. It's summertime. School is out, people are working, those who have internships are on their internships, those who have full-time jobs on their full-time jobs, whatever. But this video was just to talk more about making the best of your internship, and this is for those who are working currently, who have internships, who are hoping to convert their internship to full-time offers. So we're talking about making the best of your internships and tips for converting your internship to a full-time job. So before we delve into our points, let's just brief background. I did, while we're in school, I did 2 internships. None of them became a full-time job, but I did get a full-time job, but not based on my internships. Ideally, hopefully, your internship should become a full-time job. But your internship is also a good way to know if what you're doing is a good fit for you and if it's something you like to do full-time or not. Did you have any?
Yeah, I had internships all for 3 of my summers actually. So my freshman year, sophomore year, and junior year. But like her, none of them were turned into my full-time job. And so usually your last one in your junior year, some people are lucky in their sophomore year. You already get your full-time job, depending on the recruitment cycle of your company. But none of them did, mainly because they did not hire international students. But also it was a good way for me to figure out if that was what I wanted to do long term. And to be honest, I had planned to do that long term, but in retrospect, I'm not sure that I would have enjoyed it long term. Yeah. So things work out. Both have jobs.
Yeah, exactly. So. It works out fully.
Yeah.
Both my internships, looking back, I don't think the first one was alright. Second one was I'm not going back there. I was almost pregnant. I mean, I kind of wanted a full-time offer just so I have an option when I'm looking for something better.
Yeah.
But it works out. Looking back, I don't think I would want to do any of those jobs full-time. So again, an internship is a good way of knowing, if this is what you see yourself doing. So, but then it was still good experience. Yeah. Something on your resume, and especially as an international, if you have an internship experience in your resume, it really, really counts for something. So. Here to share some of our lessons learned during our internships and also just from interacting with some of our friends, and hopefully you take something valuable out of this video. So first point is to try to set up some one-on-one conversations with people on your team. So usually for internships, they will place you as an intern within a bigger team, an existing team, and you just help that team out. Or some other internships will have you help out every other team and all of that. You're just everywhere. You're doing good with your job, if you understand what I mean. But you set up one-on-one conversations with people on your team, on your co-workers. So ask for 15 or 30 minutes of their time, or go out for lunch or have coffee with them or something. Yeah. And the purpose is just to get to know them, get to know what they're doing, what is their role within your team, what exactly is their job. Because if you're considering going full-time, for many reasons, but for one, if you are considering being full-time in that company, you want to understand the opportunities available to you. And so setting up conversations with people on the team is one way to understand what roles are available, what people actually do here. Do they enjoy their job? What are the things that you, as an intern, you don't notice, but as a full-timer, they notice? So understanding nuances of the company and of the team that you'll be working on. And also, people make friends with people, okay? People like people that they are friends with. So it's better for you to work, it's easier for you to work within the team if you're friends with people on the team. The dynamics are not awkward. You're not just like the intern that is getting coffee and all of that. Yeah, so get to know them, get to know what they do, get to know them on a personal level. And also as an intern, you might not be familiar with what exactly your role is. And so it's good to have someone on the inside that can help you with that. It's easier to be friends or to help people that you're friends with and people that you like than people that they just sit in one corner, folding their arms and judging the entire world. Okay? Yeah. All right, number 2. Second point is always ask to do something more. So as an intern, you want to stand out, right? Especially if you're looking for a full-time offer, and especially if there are other interns around you. You want to be able to stand out. You want to show that you are worthy of that position. So ask to do more. So granted, let's say you're hired, you have specific roles. A lot of times it's very easy as an intern to just kind of pick up whatever nobody else wants to do and they just let's give it to our intern. But make sure you do it well. and then also ask. So if you know what your roles are, ask beyond that, what else can I help with? Or if you could take it as an opportunity to be keen and to observe, observing dynamics, observing the way roles and responsibilities are assigned. If you see that there's something that maybe something is lacking or it's not being done well, there's a process that's not fully defined yet, or there's just something that you think you can help with based on what you know. You don't have to wait for somebody to come and tell you do this. You can take the initiative. Taking the initiative is very, very important. Take the initiative and go up to your manager or someone on your team who is higher up that you can talk to and say, I see like this is something that you need help with, and I'd like to help out with that. That makes you, in their mind, that makes you stand out to them, because it's like, oh, I wasn't even thinking of giving you this, but if you want to do it, then
Sure.
that's a great way, and it gives them insight into how well you can work beyond what they're assigning you to do. So imagine you now come on board full time, then they already know like, oh, this person is a smart worker, this person is
Willing to do
is
more.
willing to do more, always
Yeah.
willing to do more, always willing to take responsibilities, always willing to take it. It's more proactive as opposed to just being reactive. So always look for opportunities to do more. It might not even be relating to on the job. For instance, if you during the summer, a lot of companies have like their community service projects or other projects for like interns. Take the opportunity to take a lead role on that, or just help out with coordinating. That way you get to step outside of your day-to-day role, but then you also get to like forge connections with people outside of your immediate team, which is also helping you form a name for yourself. So that way, when you look back on your internship, you can look back and make like, oh wow, I didn't just do my work. I did this, I did that, I did this, and you can see actually the impact that you made to like your team, to the company, and again, it makes you stand out. It makes people really value you.
Yeah, and that's a perfect segue to the next point, and that is clarify your expectations, the expectations of your employer as an intern. So usually for your job description, they'll tell you what your roles and responsibilities are, but it's sometimes difficult to translate that into your day-to-day activities. So as you're setting up some time with your teammates, look to set up some time with your immediate supervisor or manager or whoever is going to be doing your review at the end of your internship, and clarify what exactly is expected of you as an intern. So they might say, oh, you want someone that has leadership abilities. What does that mean on my current job, in my current role, on my team? What are the things that you'd expect from somebody or from me as an intern that shows that I have leadership qualities? So sit down with them and clearly define what you need to do, and also set up some time to check in with them regularly. Most internships will have something like this in place, but if they don't, set up some time regularly to make sure that you're meeting those expectations. So it's not just clarifying the expectations, but making sure that you're getting feedback, and you're incorporating that into your day-to-day activities.
All right, number 4 is making connections. So as you kind of touched on this earlier, you don't want to go to your internship and keep to yourself, especially if it's a situation where you're not comfortable, or where it's not your comfort zone, or you're not around people that you know. Don't While it's very tempting to stay on your own, do your work, go home, you're very, very forgettable that way. And if maybe they're sitting at the round table and think about all the interns who made impact, your work might have been meaningful, but if people don't really know you outside of work, or they can't really connect with you outside of work, then they don't know how well you are, as a teammate. Then it might not work out in your favor. So be friendly with your fellow interns. Again, you might look at it as we're all just interns. You don't know tomorrow. You don't know who can help you. Connection is always valuable. Connection is always helpful, especially when you're like with a group of interns who are from like different schools, different states, different cities, all different fields. You don't know who you can rely on tomorrow for a connection or for an introduction.
Yeah.
So be friendly with your interns, be friendly with your team members, be friendly with your co-workers, friendly with everybody. Doesn't mean you should like leave your work and always just come in chatting and talking, but still be able to have conversations, find common ground. I learned this the hard way on my internship. Like it was not a safe space for me, a comfortable space for me. So I tended to keep to myself. And while people were making connections, I was just hi, just at the surface level. Again, it was one of the things I felt like really counted against me. So, and it was me going back to like, I'm not comfortable here, so I'd rather just keep to myself, which worked in my favor. I learned, to still step out and still talk to people, even though it made me uncomfortable, and just let them know about you, let them know where you come from, let them teach. I mean, if you're international, and you're in a space where it's like all there are not that many internationals, teach them, tell them about where you come from. Some people will be interested, some people might not be interested, but that way they can remember you as that intern from Ghana or that intern from Nigeria who
even if that's all they remember,
who brought like food, or you don't have to bring food, but like who taught us we learned this about them because we had this intern from here. Again, the goal is to always be memorable. You don't want to be forgettable. You don't want people to forget you. So, but always still strike the balance between doing excellent work and still building your connections. You don't want to be known as the intern who's always having a good time, who's always chatting, and who's friendly with everybody, but doesn't know how to work or doesn't do their work well. So.
To add to that, if you're an introvert or you feel like, you're not good at making connections, it might just be helpful, just connect with one person. Sometimes all you need is one person to break into the conversation. I actually had an intern on my current job reach out to me when she finished saying, thank you for always like trying to include me on conversations. I wasn't doing this on purpose, but I would always be like, well, what do you think about this and all of that. Just make a connection with one person and then they can draw you into the rest of the team. So start from somewhere. Don't just sit down and look in. But okay, so our last and final point is to clarify the possibility of your internship converting to a full-time job. So don't just make the assumption, especially as an international student, that your internship is going to be a full-time job. So for both of us, we mentioned that our internships did not become full-time jobs. I'm pretty sure there are multiple reasons, but for me, the major reason was actually because of the immigration. And they actually retained me on part of my fall semester, but I couldn't come on full-time when I graduated because of visa restrictions and all of that. So have that conversation. I know it's a tough conversation to have, but it's important to clarify, do I need to start looking for a backup now? Or can I rely on this converting to a full-time job? And also, aside from that, some companies have quotas on the number of people that they can convert from interns to full-timers. So understand what the quota is, what do I need to do to make that cut? And also, if you don't talk, the person that might be the person to stand up for you or push for you in that board meeting, they just like, I think they already have something else lined up for them. Meanwhile, you're banking on them. So have that conversation, set the expectations that, look, I would like for this to convert to a full-time job and all of that. And so that way, even if it doesn't convert to a full-time job, you make that connection and you guys have an understanding and you are living with good feelings, not like you're feeling betrayed that, I did this amount of work and I did not convert to a full-time job and all of that. So have that conversation. Don't just assume. Okay?
Yeah, and in terms of if you're wondering why my 2 internships didn't become full time, the first one was also immigration as well. So coming on board, you don't have the long-term work authorization, but we'll hire you as an intern. The second one was, I think it was just not a good fit. I was not a good fit. And I did have a conversation with my manager, and she told me, I don't think this place is the right. I enjoy you. I enjoyed working with you. I think you're a fantastic worker. I just don't think you are the right fit for like culturally and just it was just not the right fit. She said, I worked at a plant. She said, I see you more in like the office. You would thrive there as opposed to here, which was true. But they were looking for full-time offers for the plant, so it worked out well. I mean, I wouldn't go back there. But so again, you want to make sure you have that connection. You want to make sure you can have conversation. Don't assume. Don't always assume.
Don't assume anything. Open your mouth and talk. With that being said, thank you very much for watching. We've actually come to the end of this video, and we hope you've learned a thing or two from this conversation today. If you have any questions, reach out to us. If you would like to hear more about our internships or how we got our internships or what happened after our internships, anything internship related, reach out to us. We're always willing and open to share. But thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Remember to like, to share, to comment, to subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you know when we upload new videos. Alright, thanks guys. Bye. Wow.
A thing or two.
Okay. What happened over there? I can't pronounce two, guys.
It's alright. It's okay.
Okay. Without